have my phone.
Hello, everybody. It's Carm Capriato. It's another AftermarketWeekly.com live. My, it is Tuesday. Where would you rather be than right here, right now, hanging out with me? I'm about ready to do surgery. That's why I have this on. I'm with a great friend of mine, Jim Fleischman from Automotive Alley in Arcade, New York. Now, I want to tell everyone, this is my first ever live show. I'm muted. Can someone, I'm still muted. Can someone verify that? Oh no, Rick says I'm okay. All right. Okay. Since it's our first live show, I guess this is kind of a little work in progress, but so glad to see you all here as we do this each and every Tuesday at 12 noon. Don't forget, we repurpose this on the aftermarketweekly.com website. Also, it's on remarkableresults.biz website. Hey, Carmen, Jim, Rachel Barraclough. Hey, nice to see you, Rachel. I know we're getting out, and that's a good thing. So we're live here in Arcade, New York, the first time I've ever done this, and with a great friend of mine right here, Jim Fleischman. Jim, I think it was too many years ago that I don't even want to mention that I met you at Alfred State College when you were an instructor.
Yep. Yeah. No, it was I was just talking with some friends of mine about that. How we met and ran into each other through was it Maud? I think it was.
Yeah. Amazing is we were doing some really interesting things with Alfred, and then of course you buy a shop while you're still working, and you're commuting an hour, and your wife Shelly's running the place. Unbelievable. Hey, Rick, put up that picture of Jim's place on the outside. There's Jim and Shelly in the front of the business of which we're in. And let's talk about our agenda today, everybody. We're going to do the off the beaten. We're going to do. Let me see. That's the wrong upload. So I really apologize.
Hey, it happens. It's live.
I know it's live. So let me tell you exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do off the beaten path, how I see it. We're going to talk about your fortune, it's your turn, shop tour, and a trivia. So anyway, that's that. Jim, thank you for getting ready to give us a tour. You know, we do a trivia question each and every week. So let's show you what that is. What's the only car to appear simultaneously on the covers of Time and Newsweek? And at the end of the show, we're going to give you the answers. Hey, if you're out there with us on social media, I would absolutely love to have you check in like we see a lot of people already doing. Jonathan, thank you for hanging out with us. He's actually hanging out with us on YouTube, because we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on my remarkableresults.biz live page. A lot of places that you can actually watch this. So tell us your city, give us a like, give us a share. We're just having way too much fun. What's going on here this week on the podcast? Well, today, brand new episode, Wealth Building, Becoming a Financial Adult. You got to listen to Dr. Laura Schwalik and Jerry Kazaya, husband and wife. Jerry's a shop owner. He's been on the show a bunch of times. They lead a mastermind group on wealth building. And I want to tell you something. They didn't hold any punches. I mean, talked about some really important things that you and I both need to know. And also coming up, last Friday, we did an episode with Aaron Lowe and Bill Hanby, both from the Auto Care Association, on a critical piece that's going on in Massachusetts, the right to repair law about vehicle data access. It was 2013, you all recall, the right to repair law that was passed in Mass. Well, now it's up again for another referendum vote. And it's all about access to vehicle data. And I have to tell you, if you've not seen the commercials against it from the OEMs, you're going to be blown away on the kind of stuff that they're talking about. Well, look, Jim is here. We're live. We're on camera together. And I want to talk to Jim about so many things that are going on. Small town. I can't grow my business in a small town attitude. This guy, very young in his career, got a business coach, and they're doing so many different and unique things. and he's going to show you those things that are so unique about his company. Maybe not unique about his company, but it makes it such a great company. We're in his shop tour a little later on. But Jim, the power of having a coach.
About 3 years ago, we had gotten involved with a business coach through our 20 group that we participate in, and kind of sat back and watched a lot of the guys in the 20 group and the success they were having with the coach, and Carm was always an advocate for that. So we Shelly and I talked about it. We got involved with our coaching company, and then it was an eye opener. It was an eye opener for us of what we didn't know. So we know how to fix cars. That's what I know how to do.
It's putting you on the right trajectory.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And just so Jim learned an awful lot of things. And here's the unique thing that I know about you, Jim. Give Jim a challenge, and he'll find a solution. And usually the solution involves technology. Because we were standing out in front of his business, and we were talking about these great timers that he uses, and he's going to show you them. And he goes onto his smartphone, and he can look at a car and tell you what the tech's doing and what they sold on the job. Now, I know most people that watch these shows get that, but I've never seen someone that takes it to the next level. Can you really be successful in a small town?
Yeah, we have I think our town is 4,000 people, and the surrounding villages and towns are 1,000 to 1,500 apiece, and so we may have a footprint probably maybe around 8,000 to 10,000 people around us. So, but we pull in cars and people and clients from all over the place. We're out by the Buffalo region. We're about an hour south of Buffalo.
Yeah.
So, we're out in farm country.
Yeah, you're about 22 miles, I think, from where I live. And one of the really cool things in the specialty of Jim, let's stand out of the way, is to see these classic cars that are in this shop. And I have to tell you, I actually sat in a couple of these cars earlier, and I never knew how tight a 57 Thunderbird would be. And that 57 Thunderbird is on the rack at the end. The steering wheel was so big I couldn't even get my legs.
It's about a 16 to 17-inch wheel.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It was so cool. So one of the things that I know Jim is going to show us in the shop tour, and I think you got to be very cognizant of watching the tour that Jim will give us later, is the things you do for organization and lean. Whatever prompted you to make sure that organization was at the highest part of your being?
I've always been a pretty organized person. So again, my background was being in technical repair. So flat rate, you have to be organized. If you're not organized, you're not making money. And so it kind of grew and grew and grew. And just making sure that our business is orderly. And I see the benefits of when things are in the right places, everything works smoother and people work better. We make more money because we know where things are. So it definitely makes more sense to be organized than unorganized.
I want you to show the timer that you use. And when I saw, go ahead, show it. Hold up the timer. What was so cool is when Jim showed me the timer a little while ago, I said, "Are you going to time my monologue and your discussion?" And he says, yeah. He says, "You want me on for how many minutes?" And so he did that. And I said, "Oh my God, I gotta get that for every one of my guests that comes on." No, I'm only kidding.
No, but we use the timers when we were getting involved with the coach and we were trying to nail down our labor operations and check our efficiencies or deficiencies.
Takes a man to admit that.
Yeah, and so we put them on all the lifts. Every single lift had a timer. The alignment rack had a timer. So when you're there raising the car, you could look on your RO and see how much time we have allotted. You could dial that in. And we were watching when the vehicle came into the shop, because we drive everything prior to working on it. So pre and post, we test drive them. And so we knew how much time we were working on each job. Like when we were trying to come up with how much time for our multi-point inspections, which are free, and we were trying to analyze this because our numbers were all over the place. So our coach was like, how can these numbers be the way they are? And so we were doing the time studies with the guys. And
how easy was it to find that timer?
I think I went on Amazon. I was looking for a magnetic base, and I wanted something that you can see quickly and easily from across the shop of how much time, because obviously the red disappears and the white appears.
It's amazing. We were out at one of his lifts, and please show it to us later, but every lift, every workstation actually has one of these.
Yep. We had these on, the guys had them on their toolboxes when we were really pushing this hard, and now we put them on the lift. So when we go to diagnose a car, we can dial in whatever our time is, because we all know when we're diagnosing something, we lose track of time, and you get an audible tone and kind of gives you a heads up so we can stop and sell more diagnostic time.
Thank you. This was great. Jim's going to be with me for the entire show. We're going to do some other stuff together. And of course, we're going to have the shop tour here at Automotive Alley and Arcade. Let me move on to a how I see it thing. And it's about delegation pitfalls, okay? So no one can do this as well as I can. So why should I give you a job to do if you can't do it as good as me? It's faster if I do it myself. Last time I delegated, it took me weeks to fix all the mistakes. Let me tell you something, everyone. This is from my heart. I made these mistakes early on. I gave people jobs to do, and when I saw the finished product, I changed it all. And the next time I asked them to do the same project, you know what they did? They didn't find the time to do it because they knew that it was never going to be right, and Carmen was going to do it, so do it yourself. So I had, this is about 30 years ago, I had one of those upside the head V8 moments. It takes too much of my precious time to explain what I want. Well, that's a lazy man's approach. I'm sure I'll be disappointed with the work when I get it back. That's the theme. I'm not in control of the way the work gets done, and that bothers me. And the work won't be perfect if I don't do it. So I want to put this up in your face and remind you all that if you're ever going to be a great leader, great leaders delegate, but also if you want to work 24/7 and you want the wife to go to you one day and say, I didn't sign up for this. What's going on? Why are we working 7/24? It's, you know, if you look deep inside, you need someone to hold you accountable to things other than being the all-knowing, all-seeing Oz. You have to learn to delegate. So I want to talk to you about smart delegation and trust and enlist the people that you work with. I mean, if you disagree with anything in this, please speak up, my friend. Teaching and touching. I want to be careful about this touch thing, but I just touched Jim on the shoulder. If you noticed, we're in this whole COVID thing. Jim's fine and I'm fine. And yeah, are we at risk? Absolutely, because we're not 6 feet apart. So I know that, you know, he doesn't know. But we're in a sanitary environment. They do a lot of cleaning. But teaching and touching, let's talk about that. I went to a seminar once that talked about touching and the value and the power of it. And what I learned was, I don't know if you can see it, maybe you can't, but just touching, you know, this part of the arm just above the elbow when you're talking to an individual makes a connection. That simple. You come up to a person and says, hey, Jim, how you doing? That is, it's an elixir in building a relationship and having someone put their listening ears on because you have something to teach them. That's why teaching and touching are there together. Familiarize and follow up. If you're going to teach something in a delegation mode, you can tell everyone, not the total details. I think they want to learn to do a lot of the stuff themselves. But if you don't follow up to find out if it was done the way you expected, even if they did it exactly how you wanted it, but they accomplished it by going from A to C, not A to B to C, you know, it's a good
phrase of inspect what you expect.
Yes. So another very important thing, praise the project and participate in feedback. So if it got done on time, it got done in a quality way, please give the high fives that you need. And guess what? You don't know everything. Every one of your people know all of your weaknesses, all of your fallacies. Mm-hmm. Don't think that you are all knowing, all seeing. So participate in any feedback that you should expect to get when you delegate work. So there's my little delegation piece, a little learning piece for the week here on aftermarketweekly.com. Hey, this Friday, Town Hall Academy, Improving Workflow, Mike Davidson, Corey Evaldi, Steve Wooten, and Andrew Minkler are going to come on. I want to tell you something. I've seen their talking points already, and this group is off the charts. I have a feeling you guys are going to absolutely love this show. And as you know, we repurpose the shows that we do every Friday live. Last Friday, we discussed incentive plans with Brian Kelly, Seth Thorson, and Bill Haas. Again, you hear me say this all the time. Town Hall Academies go in places that I can't even imagine they go to. And this whole incentive plan podcast that's coming out repurposed Thursday, I mean, you could watch it on my YouTube channel and all over. But when you hear this, repurposed both audio podcast and video on Thursday, you owe it to yourself to take a look at that. Well, every week we do a fortune, and let's do a fortune. Imagine I remembered to bring my fortune cookie.
Time for the lotto ticket.
It's my fortune cookie. Well, I won't give anybody a lotto number, but let's find out. Here it is. Here's your fortune. The greatest mistake a man can make is to be afraid of making one. Why does it sound like one I read last week?
I agree.
The greatest mistake a man can make is to be afraid. I think I read this last week. Is it possible that you buy an entire box of fortune cookies and they all have the same?
It could be possible.
Fortune. I don't know.
That means you have to go buy a lotto ticket.
You see, every once in a while, when I think that my brain is going, I can't remember anything. How could I remember something like this? So anyway, there's your fortune of the week. Speaking of diagnostics, I rarely talk about the behind the scenes that goes on in the podcast, but late tonight after dinner, I'm in the studio with these two guys again, as they're going to go tit for tat on diagnostic pathways versus silver bullets. Of course, I think you all know that Matthew Fonslow is a diagnostic pathway guy, and Scott Shaunton, although he is a teacher and a coach and a former instructor, he doesn't mind finding a shortcut occasionally.
We're always hunting for those.
Yes. So what they're going to do is they're going to actually give each other a situation and a problem, and they're going to it's literally case study.
Looking for the right shortcut.
We're gonna do a little case study, and of course that podcast will release itself later. And you all know this, we archive. In fact, Jimmy, I think you should get ready to do the shop tour while I do this slide. Okay.
Okay.
And we'll see you up front. We'll see you up front. So don't forget, all the archived episodes are at aftermarketweekly.com. And this is our 21st week. 21st week. Who would have thought when Tom Ham and I, good afternoon, everyone, and Doug Hunter. It's great to see all the chatter on Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. Now, we're in Arcade, New York. My first ever live. Oh, by the way, we're going to talk to you about what's going on in this shop. And one of the things that I worry about is that we have a microphone echo. So we'll do the best that we can. We'll do the best we can. Arcade, New York, Jim and Shelley Fleischman. And we did lose. Did we lose? Did we lose? Yes, I think we did. We lost Jim on his signal. So what do I have to do? I have to do a soft shoe, don't I? I'm waiting for Jim to come back on. I apologize for this. I know how valuable your time is. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Jim to come back on, what is that other stream, Rick? Do you know what that secondary stream is there in the I don't know what that is, but sorry about the background stuff. Let me tell you what's in this classic car workshop. A 71 Chevelle, which is right behind me, with a beautiful, beautiful engine in it. A 57 white T-Bird, a 41 Packard, Packard 120. That's the silver car up on the lift. A 52 Nash Rambler, and a 19 63 Plymouth Belvedere. Jim does do this, does do classic car restoration and work here, which is, he was mentioning earlier how he gets business from all over the area. Well, I am waiting on Jim to join us, and I don't necessarily see him coming into the stream yet, but we are going to get a beautiful tour and some of the great stuff that Jim does here. And you know, he's tech savvy, so I'm confident he's going to be in here in a moment. Let me tell you who we're going to do next week, everyone. Please hang in there to see this tour. You're really going to like it. Next week, we're doing Pellman's Automotive in Boulder with Brad Pellman. Great guy, good company, great shop, and that will be next week. While we're waiting for Jim to come in, and I wish I could leave you right now and go find out where he is. It's a pretty big complex we're in here, so I wanted to, if I rush and leave you alone, you're going to say, you're going to hang up on me, and I don't want that. I don't want that. So, Rick, what I think we should do is, while we're waiting for Jim to come in, let's do the trivia. What's the only car to appear simultaneously on the covers of Time and Newsweek? I bet you most of you all figured that out. It's the Mustang, the Ford Mustang. It was featured on the covers of Newsweek and Time magazines, and the night before it went on sale, the Mustang was featured in commercials that ran simultaneously on 3 major television networks. The Ford Mustang is officially unveiled by Henry Ford II at the World's Fair in Flushing Meadows, New York on April 17, 1964. That same day, the new car also debuted in Ford showrooms across America, and almost 22,000 Mustangs were immediately snapped up by buyers. Named for the World War II fighter plane, the Mustang, the first of a type of vehicle that came to be known as a pony car. Ford sold more than 400,000 Mustangs with its first year of production, far exceeding sales expectations. In an episode 172, I interviewed Giuliano Zeccato, one of the original clay sculptors who worked on the Ford Design Center in 64 and a half Mustang, an inspiring story of an immigrant who discovered his passion for sculpting and who helped bring one of America's most iconic cars to life. I actually won a national award for that episode. He's ready? Okay, hang on, leave that up, Rick. He's not in my screen. He's not in my screen. Okay, everybody, we're still waiting on Jim. Let's leave that up, Rick. I'm back. Sorry for the technical glitch, and we did have Jim, and now we don't have Jim. Rick, put up a graphic. I'll be right back. I lost you again.
Hey, Carm, I'm here.
Okay. Finally.
Sorry about the delay.
All right, Jim. Do
All
your
right.
thing.
Okay. Well, we're at the front of the building. We have just kind of a quick shot. I'm going to flip this around to this is our parking lot. We paved this a couple of years ago. We've been here in Arcade for this will be our 6th year, and first couple of years in business, we had a dirt driveway which we had just recently paved. But here's a view of the front shop, the office, and we'll take a walk into the office. It's a small waiting room. Amanda and Shelly are in here. So here's Amanda. Amanda's our service writer. My wife Shelly in the back. So the things that we use in our office and waiting areas is our menu board in the back corner, and then this board here we use for all of our digital inspections. In fact, Amanda has a digital inspection pulled up here. So anything that we bring into the shop, we go through and do a digital inspection. Amanda will explain everything to the customer, try to go over this visually right here with our monitors. Just a quick kind of glance through the office. It's a small waiting room, but we try to deter any waiters as much as possible. If we can get them in a car and give them a ride back, that's one of the things we try to encourage. It just takes a lot of stress off everyone. So thank you, Amanda. We're going to take a walk here towards the shop. We have a cleaning station. Basically, we're cleaning our hands before we come into the shop or not. It's a small bathroom. Nice shot. This room is one of our technology stations, which we keep all the servers. This is our smart home technology. We put a lot of the smart home technology in so that we can take some of the functions away from human. So if humans involved, there's going to be error. But like turning on and off of our open sign is all home controlled. The lights are home controlled. The locks are home controlled. Everyone has their own code. When they come in to the building, they punch their code in, and all the lights and everything turn on and off by themselves. So you really don't have to run around and change any lights and turn any lights on and off. But this is our front shop. There's 3 lifts in here, two post lifts and an alignment rack. It's a hunter rack, and a flat stall. We're very organized. We push hard to make sure that things are organized and tools are in an organized manner. Just a quick tour around here. Our bins and assortments. We do stock a lot of miscellaneous things. We work on all makes and all models. I think it's important that we have this. Our vendors are right close. We have 4 vendors right in town, which is I think 5 minutes away from us, and they'll hot shot right out to us. These are incoming parts, returns, cores, all done through the front end. So any incoming parts would come through this door. They're going to go through this door here and hand off the invoice and receipts to Amanda and Shelly, and they're put right to the repair order. All of our repair orders, the repair order number is our PO number. We have monitors throughout the shop. This is called Inspiration TV. What I have going on here, if you take a peek. But what we've done with these is we use these monitors to either go over the morning schedule with the guys every single morning, or we use them to broadcast videos. They're in here. We use Chromecast, a lot of technology to cast devices, but this is just something as a reminder, punched on a job, ? Hunter equipment. We have All of our tire, steering, suspension equipment is Hunter. We have 200 machines over there. I'll get a little bit closer to that. This is our parts room. We have a small parts room, some fluids, basic, fast-moving items, fittings, bulbs, brakes, DEF fluid, AC machines, wipers. We have a break room. It's lunchtime here. Everyone's in here. Everybody say hi. Tom, you're not saying hi? All right, perfect. Didn't mean to interrupt you guys. But so we have a break room. It is lunch. We are on the East Coast. We'll kind of come over to our road force machine. It's our tire station. Our diagnostic equipment. This is a diagnostic cart with our picoscope and information on this. Guys have laptops on their computers or on their toolboxes, excuse me, but all sorts of different diagnostic stuff. There's not a great tool. So this is our front shop, and most everything in the front shop is all the late model drivability, diagnostics, late model repair. So we'll take a quick walk back to the back shop. So the back shop, basically what we're doing here is street rod, hot rod performance related. Could be lift kits. There's some vehicles out here waiting to get in. And Carm's here. Carm's hiding in here. So here's the back shop. We have all different cars in here that have different needs. So it goes from rebuilding carburetor, or this had a ton of varnish, to steering and suspension. Here's an old Packard, the T-Bird. This is a T-Bird, was for coolant leaks and some other needs that needed to be taken care of. Belvedere, we had a whole bunch of drivability to do with this, but this shop again is very clean, orderly, organized. Our bolt bins, our tubing benders, all of that is back here. We do have an old school brake lathe. We don't use it often, but it's used for these older cars. We don't ever use this for any of the upfront vehicles in a late model. We bend our own tubing, bend our own pipes, custom exhaust. This is a small workstation here, computer workstation. So anything that the guys need to look up, all the computers all have the same interface. They are all laid out the same way. It's a workbench, just some more inventory back here for the street rod, hot rod stuff, the stuff that we move quite frequently, or it might take a long time for us to get our hands on. And this is just some good storage. Some of the tools are in here. Keep them out of the way from these cars in case something were to tip over and hit, and we don't want to incur any damage. But again, over here is Carm, and we have the Inspiration TV up behind him.
Hey everybody. Great job, Jim. Woo! I'm going to, why don't you knock that out? And I'm going to turn on the microphone back here at the temporary studio that we have set up. I think you all saw that it is as rough as we could possibly get. But Jim, thank you so much. Sorry we had a little bit of a delay in technology.
Sorry about that.
You had me running back and forth up to the front.
That was, I think, all on me.
And I told everyone about all the cars, and I know you just gave us a great tour of that. And I think we're way over the allocated time that we would normally ask you to hang with us. So listen, would you come back and guest host with me sometime in the future, and let someone else do a shop tour and we'll just talk business?
No, absolutely.
Cool. Thank you so much. Hey, look at everyone. We already did the trivia while we were waiting on you. Yeah. And what else do we have to do? I just think by saying, listen, if you'd love to do a shop tour or be a co-host with me, Carm at remarkableresults.biz, Carm at aftermarketweekly.com. Facebook me, message me, and half of you know my cell phone. Just send me a text. Anyway, thank you so much.
thanks,
Appreciate
John.
all your time.
Thanks,
Great-
everybody. Apologize for the screw ups.
Great tour. And you know, I'm not sure we saw exactly where all of these were
No,
plugged around the business, but this is one hell of an idea for time studies. And if a job's allocated for an hour and the tech turns that for an hour and it goes off, it's a
it
warning.
just gives you a visual.
It's a
and
warning.
Yeah, it gives you a visual and a timer. So.
Love it. Okay, everyone. I can't tell you how much I thank you for being here, and we'll talk soon.